What's going on, YouTube? Miles Life here.
Hey, Mars Life.
Yes,
Yeah, so couch conversations, yeah.
couch conversation.
So we're actually sitting here watching Kevin Hart's special on Netflix. Don't this up?
Accent made this. How can you fix your marriage? You embarrassed, they be laughing at all them broken promises and flowers. Don't be passion back. You can get this course for no divorce, so just imagine that. 12 weeks of Maya's life will save you from the avalanche. How can you fix your marriage? You can fix your marriage. How can you fix your marriage? How can you fix your marriage? 12 weeks of Maya's life, we can fix your marriage. 12 weeks of Maya's life, how can you fix your marriage? 12 weeks of Maya's life, help you fix your marriage. 12 weeks of Maya's life.
And we're watching the episode regarding his incident where he got caught in the affair in Vegas.
Yeah,
Um,
Vegas will do that to you, get you caught up.
yeah.
To
And don't believe that saying that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas because what's done in the dark will come to the light.
eventually,
Yeah. So, what were your thoughts about it? Like what we just watched?
well, you can still see there's a lot of hurt and pain that's on it.
Mm.
That's on it. As soon as they start talking about what happened and everything like that, you can see the tears start flowing and the emotion came back. Because that's something that's, you going along with your life and you feeling like everything is good, and then you get blindsided with this. I mean, and this is your life you're talking about, so you have everything invested. And one thing she said about her son, Kenzo, having that father in his life and being there and growing up with that father. And, that's very, very important to have that in a child's life. And a lot of times we don't think about those things when we're in the act of it. And I'm sure that, by Kevin being a very, very busy man and having things going on all the time, and people wanting things from him and stuff like that, we don't have time to think about those things. Or we just don't think about those things until
We
after the
do
fact.
not think about the consequences.
Yeah.
So, this is a great opportunity to talk about infidelity and the consequences of infidelity, right? So, this is quote from his wife. She says, her name is Parrish, by the way. She says, immediately, I just lost it. I called him. I'm crying. I'm like pissed. Right then and there, I just kept saying, how did he let this happen? He publicly humiliated me. Everything's on Instagram, everything's on social media. So it was an ongoing fight all the time, every single day. So this is what happens when it first comes out.
Yeah, because when you're a celebrity, everything you
Yeah.
do is in the public eye, and then of course everybody has an opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? Hence, we're doing a video as well.
Yeah.
Everybody has an opinion on it because, you know, in a sense, it really you're a role model. People and kids look up to you, and then they want to see what are you doing in your life. So if we do make certain mistakes in our lives, of course they're going to be public. And we're all human, so we all make mistakes. You know, it's just how we work through those mistakes and how we correct those things in our lives and what lessons do we learn.
Quote, she said, this was the lowest moment of my life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you think about your family, everything that you've built, everything that you love and know at this time in the present moment, it's kind of like falling apart. It's in shambles, and it's all in the blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
And also it was out of your control too. You had no control over it.
Right.
It was the other person that had that control, that lost control.
Kevin states, there's a major effect it could have on the people that you are closest to, who you love the most. When I got to see that firsthand with Nico, when I got to see the effect my reckless behaviors had, it was crushing. That tore me up. That really tore me up.
A lot of times you just have to see things for yourself. And when you do
Mm.
see them, you see that emotion on that person's face, the one that was hurt, whether it be family members or friends or children or whoever it is. And then you really understand, wow, my actions have caused all this pain in their lives. And it's really an eye-opening situation. It really is.
And she stated, she gets very emotional when she talks about this. So her body's response to talking about it was the exact opposite of what she was saying, right? So I just wanted to point that out. Like, watch people's body language because your body leads the way. Your body leads you through life more than we give it credit for. And she was crying, she was in tears. You could tell she was really emotionally still upset and had not yet healed completely from the incident. And I think that's important to mention because a lot of times with our couples that we coach, the party that created the offense wants the other person to get over it. Like, hurry up, get over it. I apologized already. I'm not doing anything right now. So can't you just get over it? But, people need time to process, they need time to heal. That perspective of who you were when you first met is gone now. So now you look to them like a whole nother person, and it's a loss, just like grief. So that person has to grieve that ideal perspective, that ideal of what that person once was to them. So it's a process, and you have to be very patient. So what do we say to our couple? Step one.
Transparency. You have to
Hmm.
be very, very transparent. You have to be open and honest about really what happened and also answer the questions that the other person has, even though it may be tough, even though those questions they may not want the answers to. But if you answer those questions and put it all out there, then that way they can start processing and start healing from it. Because a lot of times they do want them to get past it, and they don't give them the chance to process it. And people need time to process it. They're kind of grieving that loss of their trust that they have really lost. And it
Hmm.
takes time to build that trust. So transparency, you have to give them that chance to be able to trust you again in their own time.
Right.
Because if you rush them, they'll feel pressured. And they'll say that they trust you and they'll say that they moved on, but they really haven't. And then you'll have that real kind of argument of mistrust.
Right, right. And that's what happens. Like the person that the offense happened to becomes very hyper vigilant. So they're in this place where they're trying to prevent this from happening to them again. So that's why people check phones. That's why people put apps and track people after an affair. That's why there's questions and so forth, because it's like this fear of it happening again. The decision was made, okay, I want to try to work through this. But, you know, who I thought they were isn't who they are. And who I thought I was in this relationship isn't anymore. And do they really honor me? Do they really want to be with me? Do they really find me attractive? Do they really still want to be with me? All these questions can, rise to the surface.
Yeah, because after an offense like this, it really poses certain questions on the person that was cheated on, and of course, the person that was doing the cheating as well. So they will ask themselves certain questions and also blame themselves too.
Hmm.
So in blaming yourself, just know that you had no control over this. This person did those things. Yeah, you contribute. Certain things in the relationship in the past, but that actual act and that choice of that person doing that act with that person, you had no control over. And it's just, in the beginning they couldn't conceive of you doing those things, so they didn't think of you in that way. So now this is a whole new look for me, and this is a whole new person that they have to try to love.
Hmm.
Because now you're coming from this offense, and they have to rebuild trust. They have to regain who they feel that you are within themselves, and what are their perceptions of you too, because that does change their perception of you, who you are, and are
Hmm.
you telling the truth? Are you being truthful? Can you be trusted again?
Right. So step two is that consistency over time. Because you're in the doghouse, like, face it, like, that's really hard for a lot of the offenders to really grasp. You're in the doghouse. So just know that it's not going to be that easy to get yourself out of that. You have to prove yourself. So you have to be consistent over time. If you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time every day, be there. If you say you're going to call them at this time or give them access to passwords or whatever it is you said you're going to do, you have to do that and be consistent over time.
I think that as the show went on, I see where Kevin had was taking on the role with him. And they were really spending that quality time, and then also doing the things that will help mend that relationship and bring them close together, bridge that gap to build that trust, to have that transparency, because those are the things that build your relationship back. Those are the things that help you have that successful relationship. And in the end, she was saying that, she's almost glad that this happened. She's glad that he's become the man that she wanted him to be, but just not in this type of thing.
Right. So you could see that there was growth that came from this incident for the both of them. You can also see that she's still hurting, and that maybe there needs to be more dialogue and understanding about the pain she experienced from the offense. That's usually the hardest part, is to really absorb and understand that that person is hurt and in pain, because it causes pain. At the moment, you're not thinking about that. You're just thinking about having a good time and something is exciting and new and different,
Think about the pleasure at that time, or even maybe you've been drinking, or maybe you've kind of caught in a compromising situation, and just things happen. Things happen. So you never know what happened, what type of situation it was. As far as that stance, now it's just maintenance and cleaning up and dealing with the offense.
And see, it takes courage to really try to work through these types of things. A lot of times people just leave. Oh, I'm getting a divorce. They leave, they run on. They never deal with the pain that happened in that moment. And then they find themselves in the situation again in a different relationship. So it's very important to work through the pain and the offense. Now, I'm not condoning being in a relationship where there's perpetual cheating, because that can become very abusive too. But if you do make the decision to stay, and you both are actively working on it and making a conscious effort, that's courageous.
Yeah, because Kevin's a huge star and he's in the public eye. So pretty much everything that they do is going to be public. So, and that's also has its challenges all its own. So I think that they're doing a good job on really rebuilding that relationship, even in the public eye, because it's a lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings of people that are really not directly involved in the relationship, but have their opinion on the relationship. So it's a lot of things that can kind of add to the stress of it.
Right.
So I think that they're doing a great job in really mending and building that relationship back. So we definitely say congratulations and we wish you all the best on your relationship.
But we took a serious tone on this one because this is serious. These are people's lives, and cheating is serious, and we see it with our couples, and we help a lot of couples work through it. We've helped a lot of marriages. We're thankful for the opportunity to work with couples and to work with them. We bring in both the female and the male perspective. We don't take sides. A lot of times when you go to marriage counseling, you have one gender, one say a female therapist, and maybe she'll gravitate more to the female or to the male, and it doesn't get to the heart of why the offense is occurring. And actionably, we're going to help you. We're going to help you get through this. We have tools, we have exercises, we have great non-judgmental dialogue that will really help you work through infidelity. Yeah. So I'm just honored to say that I've had the opportunity to do this work, because there's so much at stake. People get married, you invest your money, your future, your body, your time, your energy. There's children involved, their lives. Generationally, things can develop from infidelity type situations. So this is life. This is real work.
Yeah. So just know that if you do have a situation like this, you can turn it around. It does take two, to work through these things, to have that transparency, to try to understand each other, to try to rebuild your relationship. It is life after cheating and after infidelity.
Yeah.
So we want to say we love you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Kevin, for sharing your story. We know that this kind of came out in an unsuspecting way.
Yeah.
But we think that y'all did a great job on really opening up and being transparent with the public as well, and just working through it. So we wish you all the best and blessings to your family, and we love your work.
Yeah. Funny.
All right. Myers Life.
Mars Life, please subscribe, like, comment.
Yes,
Hit us up if you need some support.
absolutely.
Woo, Mars Life.
5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all its beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna see, then come along with me, that's right. And if you want a good tomorrow, it's pretty simple, gotta find a life to follow. And if you do, you have
The Myers helped me face the issues that were tearing my relationship apart. They provided a safe environment to work through those difficult issues associated with our children, work, finances, trust, and intimacy. I feel I achieved a closeness and a renewed commitment to my relationship. I highly encourage couples to face their challenges and give the Myers a call.
We want to thank the Myers for all of their support. We were on the brink of a divorce.
We just could not communicate. We would have the same argument over and over again.
But after a great deal of reflection, we actually enjoy being around each other again. You taught us skills that have helped us manage conflict.
Yeah, we had a great spiritual conversation with a couple that had vested interest in helping us find our peace.
As a startup entrepreneur, I have been able to leverage the Myers coaching. First of all, they are a sounding board for my personal anxieties as I develop and fine-tune my leadership. I would get so irritated. I now have a plan to manage my anger and a support system that holds me accountable. They are non-judgmental people with tremendous skill and talent, an asset for anyone trying to develop professionally.